Hi, so the UK is currently urgently and desperately recruiting 40,000 overseas workers to come to the UK and work in the horticulture and the poultry industry. So basically, this is in fruit and veg, flowers as well as poultry. So I've got very, very good news today. Let me tell you what the good news is. So the good news today is that I have found three UK government approved companies that are recruiting exclusively for this particular industry. And I'm really excited because, and by the way, I did a whole video about this particular pathway, this visa, what the requirements are. If you haven't watched it, just have a look on the channel and make sure you watch that video because I went into it in very, very detailed. So this video, I'm going to be focusing on telling you about these three companies that are exclusively recruiting for this industry alone. So if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. Do make sure you hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a video every single day. But if you're a returning subscriber, it's always such a pleasure to have you watching these videos, and I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy, there's better things you could be doing, so watching this video is something that thank you. And if you haven't subscribed as well, hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because I drop a video on YouTube every day and I'm all about career progression. So some of these pathways I'm going to bring to you, like this one, is an unskilled worker visa, which means that you don't require any experience, you don't require any degree, you don't require any qualifications, you don't even require an English test in order to move to the UK and work in this particular sector, which is something that is so amazing. And so the reason I'm sharing this opportunity with you is so that you can get it to kind of put your leg in the door, you know what I mean? Because moving to the UK is really, really difficult. It can be complex, it can be costly, but I'm here to bring you the most cost-effective way that you only have to pay for your visa, basically. So these three employers that I'm going to discuss, in this video, you don't have to pay anything whatsoever to work for any of them. I've done extensive research because when I dropped the previous video, somebody said to me, Melvis, you've dropped a very good video, lots of good information, but look who is recruiting. How do we apply? And I was like, well, just find out online, see who is recruiting. But then I thought, okay, Melvis, I should be good. Let me do some research about it. So I've done extensive research, made some calls, and that's why I've come up with these three employers. It doesn't mean that these are the only people, but I have done research about these three employers. So let's get to the point. Basically, this particular visa, so it's a seasonal worker visa. I think the name is going to tell you what the visa is about, seasonal worker visa. In terms of basic requirements, you need to be at least 18 in order to apply for this particular visa. You have to be at least 18 years old. You've obviously got to have a passport that has an empty page for them to stamp your UK visa. You need to be willing and ready to move to the UK within the next 4 weeks, because the UK government's agenda is that from the time you find out about this visa, which if this is your first time hearing about this visa, then please, you've got 4 weeks from today to be in the UK. That's the objective, and that's why they've made the requirements really simple, really basic, without any complexity, so that any human being that is willing to work and has the energy to work can move to the UK and start doing these jobs ASAP. And also, that when it comes to fruit, veg, poultry, these are all perishable goods. This is a perishable industry, if I can call it that. So there's no time to waste, because if you've got vegetables on the farm, you're not going to be lingering around waiting for somebody to prepare for IELTS for 3 months, write IELTS, have the required score and all of that. It's going to be so complex. So they just want you to move to the UK today. So look, if you've been wanting to move to the UK, this is the opportunity for you. So you need to be 18, have your passport ready. The visa fee is only £259, which is so affordable. £259, compared to UK visas, which are always in the thousands. This is such a bargain. Yes, it may be difficult for you. I don't know which country you are. I don't know what your, financial situation is, but I can assure you that for UK standards, this is a very small amount of money, and it is obviously worth it. And obviously it's short notice, so you need to make sure that you've got everything and sleek. So let's get to the first employer. So the first employer is called Fruitful Jobs. So if you go right now to Google and you write Fruitful Jobs, so fruit like a fruit, full jobs, it's gonna come out. And also, just so you know, I'm gonna drop the name in the description box below so that you can Get that name in case you're worried about the spelling. So, you can see it on there. Go to Google their page, and then read all of the information and make sure that you apply. Because the reason I'm sharing these opportunities is not that you should know and do nothing, is that you should apply. If you're watching this and you're already in the UK, I'm sure you know at least somebody, that can benefit from this information. So please do share with them. So fruitfuljobs.com, that is one of the employers. So this is a UK government approved employer. They recruit exclusively in this particular sector. So they've got the skill, they've got the experience, and they said that they've got an app where they manage all their employees. So obviously you need to go to their website, you need to apply. So they have a standard application form. Once you complete that application form, it goes through to them. They're going to have a look at your profile. They're going to shortlist. Obviously you don't need any degree, you don't need any prior experience, but if you're applying, you want to make sure that if you've done anything with regards to farm work, if you've done any experience with regards to horticulture, if you have any experience whatsoever in this sector, you need to put it down, because it's going to be relevant. If other people have experience and you haven't got any, then obviously they're going to prefer those people that do, because they actually say that they recruit for so many different UK farmers, for example, and different farmers have different criteria. They want different kinds of people. Some would say, oh, I want somebody who's got experience in these, others. So you need to make sure that you are highlighting any skills that you have that are going to be relevant in this particular sector. You can just, apply for a job and say, oh yeah, I don't know anything about these, I've got no idea. No, you need to be smart about how you're presenting yourself, you know what I mean? Because you want to make sure that you're chosen, you're shortlisted, and also training is provided. So when you move to the UK, you're going to have training provided. This particular company, Fruitful Jobs, I'm not sure whether they pay for their training, but one of the other employers that I'm going to be talking about has said that they provide training, and the training is actually paid. So you need to make sure that if you're applying for this particular employer, you're doing some research, making sure that you're aware of the terms, you know how much they pay. Obviously, all these employers pay, a decent amount of money, because in the UK, there's a minimum wage. You cannot pay anybody less than that. So you can be rest assured that you're going to earn, the same amount of money. And if you're somebody who's been applying for carer jobs, for example, it's really a thing now, looking for carer jobs. So it's going to pay the same, if not more. So because it's all minimum wage jobs. But obviously this is to do with farm work. So fruitfuljobs.com, please, you want to check them out. Again, they have an app where they do manage all their recruitment, and all their staff. So check them out. And also, one of the things that they stress out that I really quite like is that they don't charge for the sake of sponsorship. They don't charge you anything to recruit you, obviously, because they're government approved, so they're doing the right thing, hopefully, or surely, which is why they're there. So that's the first one. And the second one is Concordia. So Concordia, if you just go to Google and you put Concordia seasonal worker visa, or Concordia UK recruitment, or Concordia recruitment UK, they're going to come out. And because here we're talking about the fruit, veg, poultry industry, obviously once they come out, you're going to know that this is it, because this is the industry that we're talking about here. So Concordia is a UK charity, and they specialize exclusively in this particular sector. They are also a government approved recruiter for this particular industry. So being a charity, one of the things that I like about this particular employer, which I've decided to share with you here, is the fact that they actually offer pastoral support. So they offer that extra support for staff, when they join them, because I'm somebody that I'm very passionate about the right support for staff. And in case, obviously, you don't know who I am, and this is our first time, my name is Melvis. I'm a nurse. I work in England. I work for the NHS. I'm an advanced nurse practitioner. I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, student nurses, carers as well, with career progression in the UK. So if you're in the UK and you're thinking of getting into healthcare, or you want to start a side business, this is something I'm really passionate about because of early retirement. So if you're watching this, it means you're obviously keen to come to the UK if you're still out. So when you move to the UK, you need to make sure that you're getting in contact with me to see how you can progress, because you know what I mean. Some of these opportunities, that's not how you're going to end. It's just an opportunity for you to explore the UK, see what the place is like, have a feel of the environment. Do I like it? Do I not like it? How do I feel? For me, this is what these opportunities are about, which is why I'm sharing the opportunity with you, because it's not that this is how you're going to end. All of us need to start from somewhere. Some people came to the UK as dependents. Some people come with a work visa. Some come with a student visa. Some are going to come with this visa. Some are going to come as asylum seekers. We're all going to come in different ways. But for me, what matters is what we do with our lives once we're in the UK. How you come doesn't really matter, the route you take. But once you're in this country, what are you able to do? Are you able to maximize the opportunities that this country brings? Because the UK has endless opportunities. But if you don't know your way around, you don't know how to maneuver the place and have those opportunities, then you're going to get stuck. And so that is where I come in. That is my interest, to make sure that you have the best life in the UK. Not only do you find a job that you love, but look, you continue to improve yourself so that you can really thrive, you can excel, and you can really feel the vibes of the country and live your best life in the UK. Because look, for many of us, the best part of our lives is going to be spent in this country. So we can as well make the most of it, and just enjoy it for what it is. That's what I've decided to do personally. So Concordia, if you just put Concordia seasonal, again, I'm going to leave a link, the name of this in the description box so that you can grab it. Again, like I said, I really like them because they are a charity and they're offering a lot of support. And also, one thing that they say, which I really, really like, is the fact that many of their farmers actually provide accommodation, which means that if you're coming from overseas, obviously you're coming to work, you likely don't know anybody in the UK. The farms are likely going to be out of town, so it's not like it's an easy commutable distance. So you need somewhere to stay, don't you? Of course you do. You need somewhere to stay. So you don't want to get here and you come out of the airport, you're like, oh, where am I going to stay? Where am I going? Where do I take my bags? There's none of that. They're going to pick you up from the airport. They're going to take you home, but I'm not sure. Did they say if the accommodation is free? Did they say if it's paid? They didn't mention. So I'm really not sure. But either way, you need to know that at least you've got somewhere to get into. You've got a house to move into when you get to the UK. It is likely that you're probably going to be paying for the accommodation and for your wages. I've also tried to find out many of these farm jobs, they pay accommodation. The average is about 50 to 60 pounds per week. So this is for your rent, obviously. It's about 50 to 60 pounds per week. So if you're paying, say, 60 pounds per week, how much is that per month? So you need to make the maths, do the maths, and see whether it's worth it for you or not. Obviously, you're going to be earning minimum wage, which means that at the end of the month, you're probably going to be getting maybe 1,500 pounds. I'm not sure. I don't know whether they have unsociable hours. But this is the information that I have had from people who are already here doing this job, as well as some of these people who are recruiting, because like I said to you previously, I did some extensive research before coming up and choosing these three employers or recruiters to share with you today. So do make sure you check it out, Concordia seasonal UK jobs, or you can put you'll see it once you do that. I'll also leave a link below. So the third one is actually AG Recruitment. So A like A, then G like G, AG Recruitment. So if you put AG Recruitment on Google, it's going to come out and you can see, obviously we're talking again about seasonal, UK seasonal worker visa. We're talking about horticultural industry, fruit, veg. We're talking about the poultry industry. So obviously, since you already know when it comes out, you're going to know the information because you've taken time to watch this video. And by the way, if up till this point you're still watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because I drop a video every day. And if you're enjoying this video as well, just like the video, leave a comment and say, Melvis, I will implement, because again, I want to know that this video is not just another YouTube video that you're watching for nothing or to do nothing about it. I want you to actually go on and implement the information. So do leave a comment below and say, Melvis, I will implement, because I'm going to be chasing you up and saying, hey, you said you were going to implement. What have you done so far? Have you applied for jobs? Have you contacted any company? Have you had any responses? Have you done your interview? What's up with you? So I'm going to be chasing you up, and that's the importance of leaving that comment and saying, Melvis, I will implement, because I'm going to be taking time and chasing you up for it. And also, if you're enjoying the content, like the video, because it lets me know, it just encourages and motivates me to know that you're enjoying the content and I can do more videos like this, because I only do videos about things people are asking me about. So if you want me to do a video about anything, I'll do the research. And then if it's something I don't know, I'll research about it, speak to people, talk to other people, and then bring the information to you so that it can benefit other people as well. That's the whole point. So AG Recruitment, they are also a government-approved employer, and they specialize exclusively in this sector. So one of the things that I've said is that they provide airport pickup. So if you apply through AG Recruitment, they're going to pick you up from the airport. They're going to take you to a home, where you're going to be living, and they have gone as far as giving the price for their the cost of rent. So they're charging £56 per week for rent. So they're going to give you a house to stay, but you're going to pay £56 per month for that particular house. And they actually said that because I was asking if it includes bills, and everything else, and they said it excludes, I think, electricity bill and one other bill. So you're going to be paying £56 per month, which, to be honest, it's not really bad. I've lived in places in this country where I've paid £1,200 per month for rent. So if you're looking at £56, it's very, very affordable. If I were you, I wouldn't really worry about it. I would be focusing on applying for those jobs, putting your CV in. Again, make sure that you really enhance it well, because AG Recruitment say that many of the people that they are working with, they want people that just have insight in the industry. So when you're presenting your CV and your application, you want to make sure that you present it in the best way possible. Because if I'm recruiting and your CV is, you've got spelling errors, poor presentation, I will not be shortlisting you. I will not be shortlisting you. So please make sure that it is very well presented, because it's so important. So like I said, they're providing airport pickup, they're providing accommodation, and they've also said about the interview process. So they have really, really quick interview process for all the three companies that we've mentioned. So when you apply for a job, you can be sure that you're going to get an interview ASAP, obviously if you're qualified and if you present yourself really, really well. Because remember, there's no prior experience that is needed, but at the same time, you want to present yourself well, especially if you've got in, I've seen some comments that people have been leaving on the previous video that I did, which I want you to watch that video after this so that you get all the details about the visa requirements and everything. I've explained it all in detail in that particular video. So you do want to make sure that you check that out. So people were saying, oh, I've got experience in this industry, or I'm from this country in Africa, I'm very much used to farm work, harvesting. So put all of that in your CV, but you need to make sure you present it well. Otherwise, you will not get a job. And look, the fact that they're looking for 40,000 people, you want to make sure that you're among, because 40,000, that's a huge number. And considering that many people are not aware of this particular visa, now that you know about it, you don't want to just leave the information to waste. All my research that I've done to bring this information to you, I don't want it to go to waste. So please make sure that you apply for this job. And when you apply, come and drop a comment here and say, Melvis, I have applied. Because if you said that you're going to implement, I'm going to chase you up. Apply and come back here and say, Melvis, I have applied. And I'm going to celebrate, and know that you're going to be in the UK within the next 4 weeks. Because again, that is the objective. That's why I'm sharing this information with you. That's why I'm sharing it. So again, AG Recruitment, they've given a lot of information about their interview process. So they've said that the interview takes about 2 hours, and they have interviews in group sessions. So the first part of the interview is going to be as a group. Obviously there's still virtual interviews that people do as groups. If you haven't done that, it's going to be your first experience. Obviously, make sure that you apply. So they do it as a group and this is where your connection, your interaction, your mannerisms, this is where everything counts. And I always say, there are skills that you need, you need to be developing. If you're wanting to excel and progress in your career, you need to develop really good interpersonal skills. When you're relating with other people, it's not only enough to go to an interview and say, I'm a very good team player, I work very well in a team, I respect my colleagues. It's not enough to say it. People want to see you demonstrating those skills and those values. And look, it doesn't take a long time seeing somebody to know that they have good relational skills, they have good interpersonal skills, they treat other people with respect and dignity. It's easy to come across even in a 5-minute interview. So you want to make sure that you're at your best behavior during that interview. You want to make sure that you're, able to listen to the other candidates, but at the same time, bring in your own ideas. You don't want to just sit there like, no, it doesn't help. You need to contribute, but at the same time, listening to other people. So you need to make sure everything is well balanced, 50-50, if you get what I mean. You get the vibes. So you need to make sure that all of that is on sleek, because you don't want to miss an opportunity like this. They're offering free certificate sponsorship. They don't charge you anything for any of these. So all you need to do is just take your time to apply well and apply thoroughly, and make sure your application stands out from everyone else that is going to be applying. And again, like I said, many people don't know about this visa. So now that you know about it, I expect you to take action. I expect you to do something about it rather than do nothing. So AG Recruitment, that's what we've said. So I'm just going to say to you what those are in case you haven't got the names. So the first one was Fruitful Jobs, the second one was Concordia, and the third one is AG Recruitment. And by the way, just something that you need to know, when it comes to the poultry jobs, actually, because you watched till now, which is really good, so you're going to find out about this, because the poultry applications to the poultry jobs, which are 2,000 out of these 40,000 applications, are going to close on the 19th of November. So 19th of November every single year is the cutoff point or the cutoff date to apply for jobs in the UK seasonal visa when it comes to poultry. So if after the 19th of November you haven't applied, you will no longer be able to apply. And that's why you must apply today. That's why you must apply now. That's why you need to make hay while the sun shines, because you don't want to miss out on opportunities because you're chilling, you're not doing anything. You're just procrastinating and saying, oh, Melvis, there you go again, there you go. No, you want to really be taking action. And I want to see that comment below saying, Melvis, I will implement, because I'm going to be holding you accountable. I wouldn't let you rest until you've actually applied for this job. So those are the conditions. But if you're applying for the fruit, veg, flower, that's a horticulture industry, you can apply obviously at any time. But remember that these visas, there's a cutoff number to the visa. There's 38,000 visas for that particular sector. If those 38,000 visas are issued, there'll be no more visas that are going to be given out, because UK visas always have a cap. So they have a number, and once that number has been issued, they won't give out any more visas. So you don't want to keep waiting, procrastinating, basking, saying, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, I won't do this tomorrow. No. And again, if you don't have a passport and you're thinking of traveling abroad, what are you waiting for? How are you going to travel without a passport? I keep saying this to people, have you got a passport? They're like, no, I don't have a passport. I'm like, okay, so how do you want to travel? Through what means? Hopefully you're planning to take a flight. So if you're taking a flight or you're taking a visa, you need to have a passport. So please, if you don't have a passport and you're thinking of traveling out, of your country, the first and the most basic thing you need to do is do a visa. Do a passport, so that they'll put your visa on that passport. Because when opportunities like this come, you need to be ready, because it's not an opportunity that is going to be there for long. The more people find out about it and apply, the less visas are going to be available for you. So if you don't make hay while the sun shines, please don't say that you didn't know, because I've done this video, I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of research to find out about these 3 employers to bring to you. So I don't want all that effort to be in vain. I don't want my effort to be in vain, because I'm going to be very, very like, oh my God, I've taken all this time and yet told you about the visa and you haven't done anything. So please do implement. If you know anybody that is going to benefit them, please share with them as well, because sharing is caring. It's all about supporting each other. Again, there's always a starting point in life. Some of these opportunities that I'm bringing to you, it's just so that you're aware of what is there. You can get your foot into the door, you know what I mean? And then from there you can just grow, slowly. You may already have a degree, you may already have a job now, you may already have a profession. Maybe just take time off work, paid or unpaid leave, apply for this visa, come to the UK, have a feel of the place, see what it's like. Do you like it? Do you not? Again, like I've said, you want to check out the video I did about the visa requirements for this particular visa, because there's quite a lot. You want to know all those details to see whether it's the right visa for you, because again, it's a temporary visa. For example, on this visa, there are restricted courses. If you come to the UK and you want to study, you can't just do any course. There are certain courses that you're not able to study on this visa, except you get special permission to do that. So again, you want to check that, bring in your family as well, so there are so many different conditions, which obviously I don't want to get deep into, but I've done them in that video. I'm also going to link it actually in the description box, so that it's easy for you to see that particular video and just go through it, because it's going to tell you the best way to get a visa, the quickest way, the most efficient way. You don't need to show proof of funds. And so I really just want to respect your time now, so that you get applying for those jobs, obviously, because that's what you should be doing, applying. Because once 40,000 people have had their visas, again, there's going to be no more left, and you don't want to miss out, So keep watching, keep sharing, subscribe to the channel. I'm always going to bring you the best opportunities, and keep watching the videos.